Hello, I'm Linda Kincaid in Atlanta, filling in for my colleague Becky Anderson. Welcome to Connect the World. We're going to get the latest developments on the Omicron variant in just a moment. But first, it is the end of an era for the world's most powerful woman. Just moments ago, Angela Merkel bid auf Widersehen to Germany's Chancellery after 16 years at the helm. Before she left, her successor offered her flowers and some very kind words. Merkel is handing the reins of the German government to Olaf Schultz. The former finance minister faces a long list of challenges as the head of Europe's largest economy, including immigration, COVID and the environment. He's also got a lot to live up to. In her time as Chancellor, Angela Merkel established herself as one of the world's voices of calm and reason. CNN's Fred Pleitgen looks at Angela Merkel's legacy.
A farewell with the highest military honors. After more than 16 years in office, Angela Merkel received the so-called Grand Tattoo ceremony of Germany's armed forces, a changing of the guard in German politics.
Nun wird es an der nachfolgenden Regierung liegen.
It is now up to the next government to find answers to the challenges that lie ahead of us and to shape our future. For that, dear Olaf Schultz, I wish you and the German government led by you all the very best, good fortune and best of success. I am convinced that we can continue to shape the future well if we don't succumb to discontent, envy and pessimism. But like I said elsewhere 3 years ago, get to work with joy in our heart.
It's the end of a political career that was never easy for Angela Merkel, often belittled in the male-dominated world of German conservative politics. Mein Mädel, my girl, is what legendary German Chancellor Helmut Kohl called Angela Merkel as she rose through the party ranks. Ralf Bollmann, who wrote the authoritative Merkel biography, says many rivals mistakenly failed to take her seriously enough.
When they realized that a woman from the East is able to play this game of power, it was too late, of course, for them.
When Angela Merkel became Germany's first female chancellor in 2005, her style was completely different than previous chancellors. Calm, quiet, and reserved. But what Merkel lacked in fiery rhetoric, she made up for as a crisis manager, both during the Lehman collapse in 2008 and the Greek debt crisis in 2012. She took bold action to prop up the German economy and ailing EU member states, possibly saving the single currency, the euro.
Europa scheitert.
Europe will fail if the euro fails, and Europe will win if the euro wins.
Arguably, Angela Merkel's biggest hour came in 2015 as hundreds of thousands of refugees, mostly displaced by the Syrian civil war, were literally on the EU's doorstep seeking shelter. Angela Merkel led the EU as it opened its gates, taking in well over 1 million people.
We have achieved so much. We'll manage this, and wherever something gets in the way, we will overcome it.
But integration of the refugees proved more difficult, giving rise to nationalist forces in Germany. While Angela Merkel did manage to win a fourth term in 2017, her popularity was waning, and she announced she would not seek a fifth one. Still, the challenges kept coming. With the election of Donald Trump as U.S. president in 2016 and Trump's alienation of many of the U.S.'s allies, Merkel, a quantum chemist, often appeared stunned by some of the U.S. president's remarks.
I have German in my blood. I'll be there.
Angela Merkel led Germany through the coronavirus pandemic, but her party's support collapsed in the final months of her chancellorship. Her Christian Democratic Party lost the 2021 elections, paving the way for a social democratic-led government, which will take power after Angela Merkel's final political goodbye.
Well, Frederick Pleitgen joins us now from Berlin. And Fred, after 31 years in politics and 16 years leading Germany, Merkel retires and her Vice Chancellor, Olaf Schultz, now stepping in. What can we expect from him?
Well, I think what we can expect is actually a lot of continuity. It was quite interesting because
Just about an hour ago, Angela Merkel essentially gave the reins of the Chancellery to Olaf Schultz. And one of the things that both of them said is, look, we've worked together for an extended period of time, so you can expect there to be a good deal of continuity and stability in German politics. It was quite interesting because Angela Merkel generally talked about what it means to be a chancellor, what the responsibility of that entailed. I want to listen into a little bit of what she said as she was handing over power to Olaf Schultz.
I know from my own experience that it's an emotional moment to be elected to this office. You may have guessed that it's an exciting, fulfilling task and also a demanding task. But if you approach it with joy, then it's perhaps also one of the most beautiful tasks there is, to bear responsibility for this country. I sincerely wish you all the best in this work and always a happy hand for our country.
Angela Merkel there wishing the best of success to her successor, Olaf Schultz. And of course, the main task at hand for Olaf Schultz, like so many leaders right now around the world, is combating the coronavirus pandemic. And you could really see that cooperation between the outgoing German government and the incoming German government in that field, where Angela Merkel and Olaf Schultz met with state authorities here in Germany just a couple of days ago and put in place tougher measures to try and combat the coronavirus pandemic. So you could see the old government and the new government really trying to ensure that there is a steady flow of the work that needs to be done to combat the pandemic. The other thing from Olaf Schultz that I always point out that I think is very important is that Olaf Schultz is a true and very deep believer in strong transatlantic relations. He's I would say a big fan actually of President Joe Biden and the way President Biden of the United States has been conducting himself. In fact, one of the things that Olaf Schultz said yesterday at a press conference is he says that he really values that new multilateralism that President Biden has brought back to the United States in working with its NATO allies here in Europe and of course elsewhere as well, especially when it comes to right now the situation there in the east of Ukraine with those Russian troops, of course, amassing there. So strong transatlantic relations, I think, are going to be a staple of this new government. Also, when it comes to the new German foreign minister, the first female foreign minister here in this country, who is also very tough on Russia, Linda.
Certainly a lot of challenges for the new Chancellor in Germany. Friedrich Pleitgen for us in Berlin. Thank you.